Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Dayz for Dummies video. It is available now on PlayStation 4 or should be rolling out to the rest of the parts of the world by the end of the 29th of May. I have kept you up to date with everything to do with Dayz for the last year and a half. I told you guys first when it was coming to Xbox. I told you guys first when it was coming to PlayStation 4. So today I'm going to be taking you through everything you need to know ahead of a Let's Play gameplay. Basically, Dayz in 2019 for absolute dummies. Now I say dummies, Dayz actually has some really complicated situations and gameplay mechanics, but some of the more basic stuff like servers, how much it costs, what to expect from development, and just some funnier little quirks. So come with me, make sure you're liking the video as I show you everything to do with Dayz. Okay, first up, what is Dayz? It is a PvP experience. You're going to be running around servers with up to 60 different players. There are servers located all around the world, and there are some specific servers that are only first person only, but these are quite slim and rare. On console, you can't host your own servers yet. Developers, during a live stream announcing Dayz as coming the next day after, said that they are still looking at rentable servers, although this is exactly the same line that they said for Xbox. Whether or not we'll ever get to be able to rent your own server, I'm not sure. Currently, the only two games that I know of you can do on console are Ark Survival Evolved and Conan Exiles. So, fingers crossed, if you want to build your own community, you will be able to one day, but for now you can only play on the official servers. The official servers have items or things in them called persistence, and basically it means that when you go to another server you'll be taking your character and your items with you. There are some limitations to this. Also, if the server crashes or restarts for whatever reason, it's meant to make sure that you don't lose your character and any of your loot. Again, there are some problems. People ghost hop onto different servers. When you find a good location, maybe a military base with loads of loot, you've got all the loot, you decide you want more, you can hop to another server and you will arrive in exactly the same position on the map. Developers are still looking very hard into limiting this and finding a way to stop people from ghosting and basically just hoovering up loot and taking on people when they're so overpowered. Dayz is a game about foraging. It's not titled Walking Simulator for nothing. You're going to be going across a huge map. Chernarus is actually based on a real world location. It is in Czechoslovakia, I do believe, and it is absolutely crazy how much detail they've put in from the real life places. Of course, some things have changed slightly, but the majority of places you'll be walking around is a real life enactment. You are going to be able to use vehicles when you're running around the map, but vehicles are end game equipment. You're going to have to scavenge and get every part you need for the vehicle. You need to build a car with tyres, radiator, battery, spark plugs, headlights, doors. There is so much to making a car. It really is end game. To get to that stage though, you're going to be going across other players, and it's up to you whether or not you take them on or possibly you try and make friends with them. You can do this via a number of ways. There is lots of emotes, so if you don't have a mic for whatever reason, you can emote and talk to players. Otherwise, you can talk to players. It is directional, so when you come up to someone, that is the only way you'll be able to hear or listen or speak to someone is if they're close by. If you want to group up with your friends, be lucky. You won't all spawn in exactly the same spot. You're going to have to find each other. There is no maps for Dayz. Everything that you do, you're going to have to look for signs or find offline items to help you. So by taking advantage and notice of where you are, your location, the town names, that's how you're going to find your friends if you do want to join up. There is no clan, there is no leadership, there is no sort of groups. You just literally pile up and you're together. That means friendly fire is always on. You will be able to hurt your friends even if you don't mean to, so be careful when swinging or shooting at zombies. Now, they're not really zombies, they're really called just the infected, but you know what they are. These guys will hunt you down. If they hear you, they'll come for you. But as long as you stay out of their eyesight, they are actually pretty easy to get past. You can literally creep up behind them and take them out, or simply try and run away. You have a stamina bar. The stamina bar does drain very quickly, and depending on how much equipment you're carrying, you may find that you lose your stamina very soon. You'll be going into multiple different houses in different villages and towns, looting for any sort of food and liquids. There are various different types of food that you can get. You can get naturally spawning pieces of fruit from trees. You may even be able to fish eventually if you get the right equipment, and you can hunt game like deer as well. You can also eat other players. Yes, you can. You can kill them, you can harvest their body, and you can pretty much eat parts of them. You can't eat the infected though. There are diseases in the game, but they have been taken in and out so many times it's hard to keep track of exactly what's going on. But if you do tend to drink a lot of the river water, you may find yourself becoming ill, and so you have to be careful about what water sources you get. Finding a water bottle and replenishing it at taps is your best bet, as well as obviously drinking lots of sodas. If you get injured, you need to bandage yourself. If you don't, a lot of the times you'll have a bleed damage and it will slowly kill you if you don't fix it. So making sure you've always got bandages is really important. You basically spawn on the southern coast or on the east side, and your idea is that you're meant to go further inland where you'll find better loot and better gear. A lot of the big towns and big cities are on the east and southern coasts, but there is even more gear and more loot towards the north. Finding airfields, army station, patrol units. These are the kinds of things you're going to be looking for, trying to get some of the guns, weapons and armour. You can scavenge for bullets, and you are going to be able to help and make craft other items with what you've got, but it's very limited at the very beginning. You can do things like chop down a bush and get some twigs, and you can make a torch out of it, but it's very limited in terms of what you can do. You are not going to be building huge massive bases in DayZ. You can build camps which basically allow you to put a fence up to stop any zombies coming in or possibly any other players, but you're still open to someone shooting at you, and they really don't offer that much protection. You can place tents down, you can crawl into these tents to get out of the weather. Weather plays a big important part. It can make you cold, which makes you suffer from hypothermia, and likewise you can get too hot too. But the camps and bases are really not fleshed out fully yet. In the past they've spoken about maybe adding fortifications, but it looks like that's not coming to the game anytime soon. So building palisades, maybe being able to build a barbed wire small fence, that is generally the best and biggest you're going to be doing. Maybe adding some drums as walls too. There are things as well to help. You can lock gates to stop other players from getting in, but frequently players are finding ways to ghost into people's bases and take all their gear. You can power up your bases eventually when you get floodlights and generators. Again, lots of this is end game, where you're going to need a lot of experience in the game finding these places where it has all these resources. You do not have an infinite backpack. You've really got to monitor and carefully manage your inventory. It's one of the most complicated inventory systems I've ever played. DayZ really doesn't work very well for people on console. They've tried and said in the past they tailored it to console, but it really is just a PC port. So be careful when you're sorting items and gear out. Any type of zombie creature running up on you can take you out quickly, and other players will also be able to take you out if you're stuck in your inventory or you're desperately trying to equip one of your weapons. You can add items to a hotbar, but this frequently at the moment breaks, and so it's very, very buggy. Overall, DayZ is a buggy game. I must be clear. I've said it in my review. DayZ is very, very glitchy. There's big substantial problems that are still there a year after it came out on Xbox, and there's still big problems on PC. No matter what platform you play it on, don't expect DayZ to be a polished, finished article, even if they are charging quite a lot of money for it. Exactly how much are they charging? Well, it's £40 in the UK. That's around $50, I do believe. It's quite expensive for a game that it is. So you go around foraging, you meet other players. That is pretty much the basics of DayZ. You're not going to necessarily be going out there and building huge empires. It's all about that interaction with other people. What exactly is going to happen? Can you build some sort of roleplay? Is it some sort of way of patrolling the world and being a good guy? Or are you going to be someone that goes around eating other players? The choice is yours how you play it. DayZ does give you a decent sandbox to play in. It's just a shame that so many components of it are still broke or just very fiddly. The controls on Xbox and PS4 are very, very unintuitive. You are going to have to get used to them, but once you do, you will start getting in a rhythm exactly how to move, adjust and combine items. Items you're going to need are things like torches and anything that helps you see in the dark. There is a nighttime cycle in DayZ and it's pretty punishing. You will literally not be able to see a thing. This rolls on every server, so you can hop to another server hopefully and it won't be nighttime, but likewise a lot of the time lots of servers are tied together. There is a cycle in terms of the day and night, but there isn't necessarily a cycle of seasons. You will run into rain occasionally, but you're not necessarily going to come across the whole map covered in snow one day. There is wildlife in DayZ. Like I said, you can hunt for game, and I do believe there are wolves, although correct me if I'm wrong, I've not actually seen one myself. Part of the game really is about going further inland, looting the best loot, finding maybe airfield gear or army gear so that you can get better equipment, and really taking care of yourself, making sure you're well fed, you've got plenty of water, and you're not got any diseases. Running into other players really is the excitement of this game. If that doesn't sound like it's the game for you, if you're expecting this game to be much more about base building or interacting with the other enemies or the walkers, the zombies, think again. You could go miles without seeing a zombie sometimes. They generally spawn in the cities and the towns, and you can get overrun. It's very easy to get killed by them, but the AI for them isn't that great. So you can avoid them a lot of the time, and you may still want to just stalk and search out for other players, see if it's worth trying to get their loot if they die, or take advantage and swoop in at the last minute. So some more technical stuff though before we round out the video. It is 4K natively if you've got a PS4 Pro, but the frame rates are only around 30 FPS, and they do dip considerably sometimes when going into built up areas or if there's a lot of walkers. Right now it's digital only, but the developers have said they're looking to add boxed versions of the game, but this will likely just mean it's got a code inside. There is currently no offline play for DayZ on console. There are ways of doing it on PC, and in the past they've shown off preview events where players are playing it offline. I really hope they bring this into the game so that people can learn and do stuff without the fear of being killed or attacked. There is no real other tutorials other than just the introduction video and the few basics that it does show you. You're going to have to look up and learn exactly how to combine items, which ones work, which ones don't, all the while hoping that no other player or a zombie has crept up on you. There are of course trophies for the game. You can take a look for them yourself and see what they are. Some of them would be quite hard to get hold of. The download size is around 9 GB or 8.7 to be precise, so not a massive game, and it does receive more or less frequent updates. At least once a month they're looking to get stable updates done. Currently PC is a good 2 updates ahead of console. They're running at 1.4, whereas Xbox I do believe is only running at 1.2, and that's what PS4 will run at as well. Be aware of these numbers going forward. When you want to see what content's coming from PC, it can be really easy to get mixed up, and they don't do a very good job sometimes of letting us know exactly what version's running what. But if you look in the bottom left hand side, you will see the version number at the title screen, and it does tell you exactly what version it is running. If you're looking for the ideal mods coming to DayZ, because you've seen them on PC Let's Plays, think again. They've got no real plans to add this. They are talking tinily about adding crossplay, but it's not something they're going to be focusing on right now. I honestly think the chances of that happening are very slim indeed. The studio behind it, Bohemia, are still relatively small. They put a lot of time and effort into their Armour series, and they've got a few other games in the work like Vigor and Wildlands. DayZ has been a project that's taken a very long time to get finished, and it still feels a little bit old. You should definitely check out my review of the Xbox version. I really still think that is applicable to the PS4. It's got exactly the same sort of issues. I've played around 3 hours today of DayZ on the PlayStation 4, and I am still left feeling like it's a game that needs more attention. But when it works, when it comes up and you come up against another player, or you've got that interaction, it can be really thrilling. And when you get some decent gear after looting for so long, that is the best part of DayZ. It is a hardcore survival experience. Do not buy this game if you're expecting it to be easy. Do not buy it if you want to play on your own. It's all about interacting with other players. Of course, there are many other things I need to talk to you about DayZ. If you guys want me to, let me know by liking this video. Pop your comments in the description box down below if you're going to be purchasing it. If so, why, or if not, why. And look out for some more guides and gameplay of DayZ on PS4. I am Jade. I give you my opinion as well as the information you need. Don't forget to like, and like I said, I'll see you right back for another DayZ video for dummies. Well, maybe we'll drop the dummy bit next time.